Hey everyone, it's Maria here. Thank you so much for your patience at this challenging time for us. Some of you don't know, one of our horses is going to be euthanized next week, so it's nothing that can be done about it. It is, she's 29 years old, so she's had a really good life. She's been with us for over 5 years, and I feel really privileged to have her. But of course, it doesn't make it any easier when you have to make those decisions that you have to make when you take on animals, especially with the rescue animals that we have, because all of our animals are actually rescue animals, so you have to do the right thing by them. She literally, please don't anybody send me any ideas of how she could recover from this. She's not going to recover. I don't want to hear it. I'm going to be really direct about it. She basically has a digestive issue, which she's had all of the time that we've had her, and now her teeth are also gone, so she doesn't have any surface to chew food on, and she's already been on MASH and everything, so please don't send me any ideas about what might help. This is the final stage, and this is the life we choose, and it's hard, and I appreciate your patience and your support, everyone. Thank you so much. So let's go into the Q&A that we didn't get to do last week because of these situations. So again, thanks very much for your patience. So question number 1, my inner child, the one I think of as child me, as I was in my imprint period, versus one of my child functions personified, is having jealousy issues with my son. Basically, she feels like I don't love her best because I put his, so the son's, needs first. Her core wounding is feeling unloved/unwanted. All she wants is for someone to love her the most. I'm not sure how to reconcile her need with the practical reality that my kid isn't old enough to be self-sufficient yet. I love this question. Great question. So I know, question asker, you are INTJ. So I'm just going to, I know you're saying the one you think of this as the child you from your imprint period, but I will bring your inner child processes into this, just because there's actually, to me, there's a direct correlation with this. So your inner children, your inner 10-year-old is introverted feeling, which is authenticity, and your inner 3-year-old is extroverted sensing, which of course is sensations. And there's a lot there that's actually what you're probably referring to. Your inner child, the one as the childlike you from your imprint period, is actually a combination of these two inner children and how they're interacting with each other. So your extroverted, so your information collecting inner child, which is actually extroverted, is collecting all this information about your son being the most important person, and those childlike parts of you not, and then feeding it to the authenticity part, which probably has believed, the inner 10-year-old has believed that she is unloved and unwanted, so it's kind of feeding that belief that feels like it's an authentic belief, which of course, you know, it is an authentic belief for you, but it's not actually true. You are loved, you are wanted. I mean, if you weren't, you know, we wouldn't be doing this video. I know you've already worked a lot on this from the past, but I just want to reiterate that you are loved. We love you. We want you here. You know, you are the most important person right now in my life as I'm doing this video. So you're, you know, just making sure that you're collecting that information that challenges the information that you're collecting in a biased way. So the bias is that you're not the most loved or the most wanted person. But here I'm giving you exact opposite information to collect, which means for me right now, and anybody else who's tuning into this video, you are the most beloved, you are the most important person right now. All right. So, when you talk about the personified or the functions personified as opposed to the child you, again, I'd like to just challenge you to think, is it possible that that person, the childlike or the child you, is actually the combination of those two and their interplay? And you were saying that you're not sure how to reconcile that inner child's needs. And the way that you start reconciling those needs is that you start acknowledging when you are getting information that is in direct contrast to what you believe. So for example, right now, start noticing the times when you are actually being prioritized over everything else. I'm sure there are times in work that you are. I'm sure there are times, here in the group that you are. I know you're doing the integration mentor program. So when we're doing the live call, you're very much going to be prioritized as who you are. And so it's important to notice those things and bring that information into the attention of the introverted feeling process as well, because it will start really challenging what those kids, those inner children believe. And what will happen is when they start to get that, like when you start to really go into that more and those inner children start to get that they are important, they are wanted, they are loved, what will happen is that they will begin to not be so jealous of your child, to just say, hey, there's plenty to go around everywhere, because they're feeling deprived right now. So it's your job, your grown-up parts of your job now, to remind and to show your inner children that, they are actually important and there is lots to go around. So right now, you're the most important person in my life right now. And take it, show it to them. All right, so I hope that answers your question. So if not, or if you have any other comments, confusions, or follow-up questions, just pop your comments into the comments section. Next question. I'm in the midst of a career change and moving to becoming an entrepreneur rather than working in direct sales. I love entrepreneurs. Yay! To a point of where I go and talk to, I have another talk booked at a startup. I just love startups, and at a startup place in Sydney on, what was this one on? This is on how to bring your ideas to light. So how to present your ideas to people, maybe investors or other people in on your team, or your employers. So yeah, yay for you for becoming an entrepreneur rather than working in direct sales. As I'm cleaning out the old, it hurts to see how hard I've worked with nothing to show. So much time and money has been wasted. It feels like a failure. I'm sure moving forward in my virtual bookkeeping business is the right thing to do, but these emotions are hitting so hard. I'm really doubting myself. What if I never find my thing? Fantastic question. Let me just double check if I know this question asker's type, ISTP. Okay, cool. So one of the challenges that you are facing right now is, as a sensory person, you can't imagine what the benefits of everything that you've learned so far will be in your business. So as a sensory person and as a thinking person, you are predominantly looking at things that are happening right now and try to figure those things out. Okay? So when these feelings kind of come from the left field, they can feel really out of control, and like you can't reconcile. Like it feels like it, as you said, it hurts. It hurts to see how hard I've worked with nothing to show. You think there's nothing to show, but you actually don't know until you've had the experience in your business where you go, I'm so happy I did that, because now I know exactly how to deal with that situation or with that that task or with that. Because if you can look at, so I know that as a sensory type, your intuitive power is in your inner child process, one of your inner children. So I'm going to ask you to really go into that intuitive inner child process and start cultivating that part of you by asking to imagine what things could be like how could this particular thing that I did for 5 years possibly help me in my new business. So you start to say, how could that have what I learned help me now with this? And you may not come up with ideas straight away because your intuition is not in your wheelhouse. But what I will say is that the more you practice it, the better you become at it. The same is true for patterns. Pattern recognition that's what intuition is. It's basically advanced pattern recognition. If you're not good at recognizing patterns, and I wouldn't think that you are super great at it yet because it's in your inner child position, what I would say to you is pattern recognition and intuition is a skill. Just like learning to think is a skill for intuitive people. You got this. You just don't know that you will get it yet. You just don't know it yet. You haven't experienced it yet, so therefore you can't kind of know, what's going to happen in the future. Please take the word of myself. If you don't believe me, ask any other person who's successful in business and ask them if they think that what they learned in their life has served them in their business. Because if they're successful, they will tell you yes. I have an ex-business partner of mine, a very dear friend of mine, who was, this is how random this can all look like. He trained as a veterinarian, and he worked with the polo ponies in Brunei, the princess polo ponies, for years and years and years. And then he went into business, and he ran specific kind of businesses, and none of the things had anything to do with each other until now that he's landed a job in a very prestigious veterinary chain of veterinary businesses, and he's now the head of operations in Europe because of his business background, because of his veterinary background. They've basically brought up the stock price since he joined the company from £3.50, I think it was, £3.80 to £10 per share. So you just don't know it yet, but this always happens. You're freaking out because there's so many things that you can't kind of show the results. You haven't had successes in your business yet to measure whether the old stuff helped you or not. So I'm going to challenge you to start conversations with your inner child intuitive process and open up that part of you by asking questions like, I wonder how this would help me with this business. I wonder how that would help me with this business. And then also start looking for patterns. What are the things that keep happening time and time and time again, and how can those help you in your business? You'll be successful I have no doubt that you'll be successful if you collect information, good information, and you implement it, and you take advice from those who have already built successful businesses. Okay? All right. So thank you very much for those questions. That was great. And once more, thank you for your patience. And I'll talk to you later on this week. So we're going to do a Q&A this week. We won't be doing one next week because the euthanasia is booked in for Monday. I won't be working next week at all. So we'll do one this week. If you have questions, send them over to desk@mariasumilov.com. And otherwise, we'll then work together again the week after next. All right. I hope you're having a good day wherever you are in the world, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.